นอกจากนั้นยังได้เพิ่มทวีการร่วมมือในการจัดตั้งบทบันทึกความเข้าใจสองฝ่ายมาตรฐานทักษะของเรามีบทบันทึกมีสัญญาร่วมกันกับประเทศเพื่อนมิตรของข้างคือประเทศไทยประเทศเวียดนามในการจัดตั้งปฏิบัติกลไกของอนุภาคพืชว่าจะเป็นกลไกการร่วมมือระหว่างประเทศรูปแม่น้ำคลองกลไกการร่วมมือระหว่างประเทศ CLMVT ของเขากลไกของมืออื่น
Free trade, open economies, and more generally, globalization is openly challenged. Allow me also to extend my gratitude to International Labour Organization and UN Women. The EU highly values this tripartite cooperation that will, without any doubt, strengthen synergies on the ground. This program will target countries of origin and destination across the ASEAN region, working with women migrants workers, ASEAN government authorities, ASEAN institutions, and worker, employer, civil society, and community-based organizations. It will increase the capacity of frontline service providers to respond to the needs of women migrants workers who experience violence and trafficking.
Labor migration for women from Laos is a significant proportion. According to the statistics in the International Labour Migration Statistics database of the ASEAN, which is implemented by the ILO, there were close to 60,000 migrant workers deployed in 2016, of whom a little over 50% were women.
The impact of violence on survivors, their children, families, and communities, and the ripple effects for the broader society is devastating. Survivors' mental health, physical health, education, incomes, and employment opportunities are affected. Because of this, violence against women is recognized as a major obstacle to the realization of women's rights and opportunity, as well as the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Since this project reaches across all 10 ASEAN countries, we are hosting national consultations in each country to better understand the context for women migrant workers moving among countries, their positive experiences, and their experiences of violence. By focusing on women migrant workers, this partnership aims to effectively leave no woman behind in new ways that we hope will open doors for women across the region. Women migrant workers are particularly vulnerable to violence and trafficking throughout the migration cycle. They're at risk of facing violence and abuse from intermediaries, employers, partners, and strangers, as well as from exploitative labor conditions, but often have little access to legal protection, justice, and support services. Because of language barriers, lack of education, their own immigration status, limited knowledge about their rights and where to seek help, women migrant workers are particularly vulnerable to abuse and face added difficulties in accessing support services such as health care, justice, and social services. Survivors of violence, like many survivors, often face and fear social stigma or even blame from service providers. And the protections and services offered to victims of violence are often limited and inadequate. We recognize Lao PDR's efforts to prevent and respond to violence against women, starting with research that is helping to form better prevention and response efforts. In Lao PDR, research has shown us that 1 in 3 women has experienced physical, sexual, or emotional abuse by a partner in their lifetime. I want to ask you to imagine for a moment what this means. And imagine that 1 in 3 women in this room today have experienced physical, sexual, or emotional violence in their lifetime.